Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed with the amount of tasks or assignments that you have, that when you look at these tasks or assignments, you're just like, I'm not gonna do any of them? I feel the same way. My challenge is when I wake up groggy or exhausted because I didn't get enough sleep the night before, I would look at my tasks and I just would feel overwhelmed and not know how to prioritize. In this video, I'm gonna cover what executive function challenges are and the top 5 hacks that we share with our students so that they can overcome their own executive function challenges. So, what are executive function challenges? Executive function challenges fall into 3 categories: big picture thinking, getting things done, and brain stuff. Big picture thinking involves planning, organization, and time management. If you are planning for how to study for your upcoming test, essay, project, presentation, or if you're planning on doing the chores that you've been procrastinating on, like mowing the lawn, all of that involves big picture thinking. Getting things done is all about focus, sustained attention, and task management. This can look like you being in an environment where you can be productive, minimizing your distractions, and grinding away with the things that you set for yourself. Brain stuff is all about emotional regulation and impulse control. If you are feeling angry because your parents took away your gaming privileges or your movie privileges, how do you not take that anger in how you communicate with your friends or your parents or teachers? So, what can we do about it? I have 5 hacks that you can use to help you overcome your executive function challenges. We call it the doing method. The more that you do it, the less overwhelmed you will feel, and the more that you will feel in control of your life. And the easier it gets to apply this method over and over and over again. With that, let's jump right in. Number 1, discover your strengths and weaknesses. Why this is important is that once you have an awareness of what you're good at and not so good at, then it can help you lean in on your strengths, and for your weaknesses, you can find resources to help you work through those. So for me, one of my strengths is being able to look at a big project and know the little tasks to help with solving that big problem. But one of my weaknesses is prioritization. Sometimes all of those small tasks just feel like they are all priorities. What helps me is figuring out how to prioritize. Sometimes I would journal and write down all of my tasks in like one place so I could go and visualize and look at it. And in that process, I can start to see that's high priority, it's medium priority, it's low priority. I also talk to other people and just share with them, here's my project, here are the things that I'm thinking of how to break it down. What do you think? And just by listening to them, I can start to see what's important and what's not. And lastly, just going for walks. Being able to get out of my own head helps give me a lot of clarity in solving my prioritization problem. Hack number 2, outline a plan. There's this saying that a goal without a plan is just a wish. For example, let's say that you have an English essay and your goal is to get an A, and you don't do anything about it. So that, my friend, is an example of wishful thinking. For me, if that was my goal, and if I was to outline a plan, I will use resources like an online sticky notes, Google Calendar, and maybe even other task management tools to help me lay out that plan. So with online sticky notes, I like to add the different days of when I will do specific tasks related to that English essay. It could be coming up with a thesis, coming up with an outline, starting the intro paragraph, body paragraphs, inclusion, and whatnot, and I'll break it down which days I'll do that part of the assignment. And then with Google Calendar, if I know that I have sports practices or if I have other commitments, I might make sure that if writing a thesis takes me a while, I'll put that block in my calendar to focus on doing just that thesis. And with the task management apps, maybe you like ones where you could just easily write them down and check them off once you complete it. Maybe you like ones where you could put a deadline and it shows up in your Google Calendar. The point here is outlining a plan is all about whatever your goal is, what are like the small steps you need to do to be able to achieve that. And once you have that plan, then it makes achieving that goal so much easier. Hack number 3. Initiate your SMART goals. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Let's say that one of your SMART goals is to get hired at a local grocery store by the start of the summer. This is a SMART goal because it's specific, it's measurable, and also time-bound, meaning you have a specific deadline on when you want to achieve that goal. If you're a high school student that can qualify for a work permit and you're eligible to work part-time for a local grocery store, then that's attainable and realistic. And T is for time bound, which again, you have a deadline. The next thing that I think is really important to know is why you have that SMART goal. In getting a job, I think one of the whys is so that you can have money and no longer rely on parents or siblings to buy you movie tickets or food and whatever you might want. And having your own money can feel really empowering. So knowing your why can really help fuel you in days where you're just unmotivated. And the other two things that can help with initiating your SMART goals is to minimize your distractions and to apply some focus tips. Minimizing your distractions looks like going into an environment where you can feel productive and not as distracted. So if you're in an environment where the TV's on and your phone notifications are on and your dog is barking at you and your siblings just yapping at you, then that probably would not be the best environment for you to work on your resume. So taking yourself out of that and going to a coffee shop or the library or telling your family that, hey family, I just need some focus time, I'll talk to you when I'm done, could help. In terms of focus tips, you can apply chunking, which is when you group tasks that are similar to each other, like writing an email, following up with your friends and family, and putting that in one category of tasks. Then you can also apply time blocking, where the tasks that you group together, you can block off in your calendar. And in the morning, this is when I do these like admin related tasks. In the afternoon, this is when I do more creative tasks. Lastly, you can also apply the Pomodoro technique, which is a technique where you have a specific task you want to complete and you complete it at the designated focus time that you set for yourself. And then after that, you reward yourself with a small break. The key here with doing the Pomodoro technique is, number one, you need to set up an intentional task of what you do during your focus time, and you minimize all distractions you may have, because the goal is to get you to finishing that task, so that when you do finish that, you can reward yourself with a break, whether you walk outside or you look at your phone, your social media, you reply to your friends, whatever your break time may be. Hack number 4. Nurture your process. At this stage, you probably already have a plan or some SMART goals. And bonus is that you know your why for your goals and your plan. And if that's the case, you probably have tried some things to help you achieve that, whether it's adding things in your Google Calendar, adding things in your sticky notes or a task management app. And with whatever you're trying, I encourage you to try them for at least a month and try them consistently. The goal by trying these things consistently for a set time, a month, 2 months, is so that you can take notes of what's working and not working. And the more that you have this data, the more that you can improve your process. So let's say that you try Google Calendar for a month and you start to feel like it's hard to go on your phone and add an event with time and actually do those things during that time. So maybe instead of doing it in Google Calendar, the next month you try a planner and you write things in your planner and you carry it around with you, and seeing your physical planner and seeing what you wrote down actually motivates you more to go and try the things that you set out. So by iterating and improving and trying out new processes, but also reflecting on what's working and not working, will help you make your systems more for you, so that at the end of the day, these systems can help you achieve the goals towards the plan that you want for yourself. Hack number 5. Get together with others and celebrate. Sometimes when you have a plan and a SMART goals and you're the only one that knows about it, it can feel really lonely, discouraging, and even unmotivating. In those cases, this is when it's very important to manifest your plan and your goals to your friends and family, posting your social media handles, whatever it may be, so that other people can also celebrate and acknowledge what you're working on. On top of that, it's really important to celebrate your small wins. Sometimes when we're on the grind and we keep going and going and going and going, it feels like there's no finish line. And by taking a step back and pausing and celebrating your small win, it can also fuel us to continue and energize us to try again the next day. And even remind us that all of this is, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon to be able to achieve the goals that we set up for ourselves towards the plan that we want for ourselves. So when you get to this step, remember to manifest everything that you're doing, share with everyone else, and also celebrate your small wins along the way so that you feel energized to try again the next day. If you've enjoyed learning about the doing method, please smash that like and subscribe button so that the YouTube algorithm gods can give this video to those that have executive function challenges and will have some things that can help them overcome those challenges. Before you leave, the one thing I want to remind you of is applying these methods take time. If you're expecting to apply them once and for you to be problem-free, that is not realistic and you would be doing yourself a disservice. But instead, I encourage you to think of this as an iterative process that takes time to develop, takes time to refine. And the more that you apply them and the more that you practice them, the easier these things will become, the easier it will be to solve these executive function challenges, and the less overwhelmed you will feel, and the more in control of your life you will also feel. With that, let me know in the comments below, what is an executive function challenge that you consistently experience, and what in the doing method do you want to try next? Thanks for watching.